Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 56th TWitWoW monthly Q&A. We have got 37 questions to answer today that we've been collecting over the course of the last month. And I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to answering a bunch of these. I was trying to get Abel to ask for these, but he refused. He's being stubborn about it. But we do have a really great collection of questions from a really great collection of people. And I do appreciate everyone that did ask. John, how you feeling about the 37 number?
I'm feeling great about it, man. I don't know how I'm feeling about Abel's little sass to you there. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that later. I actually talked to him after the last Q&A and told him, you better fucking submit to the next one. And so yeah, we're just gonna have a very emotionally healthy conversation because I'm great at those. But other than that, yeah, I'm psyched.
All right, awesome. Let's get into this then. First up, Hypothesis had 3 questions. First up, have you noticed that after WrestleMania 28, all of Triple H's WrestleMania wins were without Stephanie, and all of his losses involved her?
I didn't notice that trend until you brought it up, Hypothesis, but that is interesting, because I'm even thinking about the Seth Rollins matchup, and yeah, that was kind of her fault. Just as like one example, right? So yeah, very interesting pattern there.
Yeah, so I also didn't notice it, but I appreciate you pointing it out. Next question, how would you feel about The Miz defending the Money in the Bank briefcase in a ladder match at WrestleMania, reestablishing the tradition? Personally, I would have loved it if they would have done that, because The Miz is such like a sniveling like prick that it would have been really cool for, fucking Adam Pearce to come out and be like, Miz, you've been holding that over these champions' heads for too damn long. If you're not going to use it, you're going to lose it. You're defending it at WrestleMania in a ladder match. We're doing it again. I would love that.
Yeah, that would have been dope. I would have definitely been down with that idea.
Yeah. Next, third and final question, actually, from Hypothesis. First up, who's the lesser of two evils, Cardi B or Lacey Evans?
I'm going to go Cardi B on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've heard some shit about Cardi B, but she seems pretty harmless these days, so I'll go with her.
Next question.
Ace the Skylord. One and only one question. I was hoping we would get more from him and his sister here, but unfortunately just this one. An established veteran in WWE uses their creative control to derail an upcoming NXT wrestler who later on down the road turns out was problematic all along. How would this situation make you feel?
I really have no problem saying that two people can be trash for two completely different reasons.
I know, right? I would feel like maybe the vet was vindicated a little bit, but it's still a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, but they're vindicated a little bit, but they're only vindicated retroactively because they probably didn't even leverage their creative control for those reasons to begin with.
Right. If it was a Daniel Bryan, we would probably, in good faith, believe that he did it for that reason.
Right. But if it was somebody,
or like a Sami Zayn even, but I don't think he has that kind of pull.
Yeah, but if it was somebody I'll even say a Seth Rollins, because he seems like a take the whole boot in my mouth daddy kind of guy.
Yeah.
If it was a guy like Seth Rollins, I'd be like, well, fuck that guy. Because, retroactively, sure, it might vindicate him a little bit, but you can think two people are trash at once for two completely different reasons. I don't think it's that complicated an issue.
All right, well, glad that we have essentially the same answer there. Craig Skiff, who is a patron, could have asked 5 questions, said that he felt better cutting himself off at 3. He actually just said in chat that he didn't have any other questions that felt right to ask at this time. So, first of his 3 questions was for both of us. Oh, wait. Is this just for me? Let me recheck in the Q&A tab in the Q&A channel on our Discord. First question is just for me. Okay, so the first one's just for me. And then the second one's also just... Okay, so he asked me 2 questions straight. His first question for me is, where do the Texans trade Deshaun Watson to? And if they do trade him at all. So here's the thing, Craig. I want Deshaun to get traded really bad. I think that it would be best for him. I think it would be best for the franchise to just fucking restart, because they're an absolute dumpster fire right now. And quite frankly, the situation that their management and their ownership is in right now, they don't fucking deserve somebody as talented as Deshaun Watson. But I genuinely am starting to believe that they just aren't trading him. I apparently he even had a meeting with his new head coach this morning and reaffirmed that he was not going to play another snap for the Texans. But we keep hearing that there are literally teams leaving voicemails on the Houston GM's phone trying to just offer them something for Watson. And it just seems like they aren't willing to listen to anything. They just don't seem like they're willing to budge on not trading him. I don't think they want to trade him. I will say, if they do trade him, I think it's one of those situations where it'll be like a desperation ploy. Like, you know, right before the trade deadline, he hasn't played a snap all season. He's sitting out. He refuses to play for this team. And they trade him for like a second round pick or some shit because they can't get anything else for him because he's so very obviously not playing for them and they've lost all the leverage at this point. I could see that happening. I could see them trading him on draft day as a way to try and leverage his value to try and work themselves up into the position to be able to draft a new quarterback. And it would be like the new head coach's guy then. So, yeah, there are a few situations that I could see happening. If they do trade him, I think the most likely teams are, let's see, San Francisco would be the perfect team for them because, you know, you're trading him away to the NFC. So immediately you're getting him out of your conference. So that's, you know, a big positive. You know, the 49ers would be able to give them, how high do they pick this year? I don't even know. I haven't paid nearly enough attention to the draft this year. 2021 NFL draft. Let me see if I can just find the San Francisco 49ers draft pick. I think they have like 6th overall or something like that. No, it's lower. Oh, 12th overall. So maybe they would have to be multiple first round picks then, but I still think that San Fran is a decent spot. For Deshaun. I mean, obviously, I don't know if Houston would really want to go there, but I think for Deshaun, San Fran is like the number one place. Low key, I don't expect this to happen, but I could see Jacksonville being like, hey, here, you know, take our first overall pick. You can have Trevor Lawrence, give us Deshaun Watson because we know he's amazing and we don't need to roll any dice or gamble on him. That could make sense. I don't really know. Who else? I mean, the thing is, there are so many teams that he would be a quarterback upgrade over. In Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit at this point. Hell, maybe Detroit isn't done dealing with quarterbacks yet. Maybe they want to trade Jared Goff down to Houston. They just got him and pick up Deshaun. I don't know. So I'm going to stop talking about this question now because I could probably keep going for another few minutes, but I want to be a little bit more, you know, generous with the time here because I know that John also likes to participate in these. And I have another question right here now. Did the Rams pay too steep a price in trading for Matt Stafford, and did the Lions make out like bandits in this trade? Yes and yes. Stafford is good, don't get me wrong, but he's not multiple first-round picks better than Jared Goff. And the fact that he's like 33 or 34 years old or something along those lines. He's in his early 30s already. And Goff is like 27, I think, or something like that. Like, they're, you know, Goff is the younger player, and he's not as good as Stafford, but quarterbacks also get better with age. So maybe by the time Goff reaches Stafford's age, he will be as good as Stafford. And, the absolute mass amount of draft capital that Detroit gained from this trade does not equal the difference between Goff and Stafford. It's honestly ridiculous. I understand why the Rams did it because they also unloaded Goff's contract, which was a really, really bad contract. And I think Sean McVay really wanted somebody that could get him more than just what he schemed up. And that's something that Stafford can do. But Stafford is also one of those like mistake-prone quarterbacks. Like he's a gunslinger. Like he'll throw it sidearmed if it means trying to make a play, and it doesn't always pay off. Sometimes it blows up in his face. So I don't know if McVay's going to like having that kind of quarterback there, but we'll see. You know, for all we know, the Rams could end up having one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL this year because of Stafford just being that step up or two from Goff. And maybe they bring in more help and stuff like that because free agency hasn't even hit yet. They might bring in even more help. They might improve their O-line. They might improve their receiving core. We just don't know. So I definitely think they paid way too steep of a price from a process standpoint. but they could still end up getting good value out of Stafford in the sense that their offense could be really, really good with him, but it wouldn't be exclusively because of him, and it wouldn't be worth sacrificing the first round picks that they gave up to get him. So that's how I feel about it. Third and final question from Craig Skiff. And John, welcome back to the show, because this is for both of us. Now that we know that there is a New Japan AEW Impact Wrestling Alliance forming, do you think that Kota Ibushi versus Kenny Omega for one of their respective championships is inevitable?
I always think in industries like wrestling, where you've got many promotions and subsequently many competing interests, terms like inevitable, especially when discussing, cross-promotional stuff like this, are a bit strong. However, I would say possible, maybe even strongly possible. I think all of the conditions are there. I think, if they feel like it's in their best interest, they feel like if both parties benefit, they'll come to that agreement. I feel like Kenny would probably want that just because, he's waited so long for Ibushi to get at the top. And, maybe it would be a good rub for Ibushi. And I don't know if New Japan, especially with their U.S. expansion, because I have no idea how that's been doing, especially with COVID. Obviously, things are going to be a bit stunted. So I won't say inevitable because, again, I think that's a little strong, given that any party could be like, I don't really see how we benefit from this. But possible? Absolutely. In the wrestling industry, I think damn near just about anything is possible. So.
Yeah. When I first saw this question, I even posted in the Discord, oh, this Q&A is going to be so interesting. And it was like a sarcastic comment because, like, all I can do is roll my eyes at stuff like this because, like, God, I feel like Kenny specifically wants this whole Golden Lovers arc to be this, like, miraculous piece of art. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm just, like, covering my face in embarrassment for him, like, secondhand embarrassment. Like, dude, relax. It's, I just feel like he takes it so much more seriously than it has any right to be taken. And I honestly don't think that there's going to be a real relationship between New Japan and AEW. I think Kenta is being allowed to work AEW and Moxley is being allowed to work, New Japan Strong temporarily because of the U.S. title. I don't think that it's going to last. I don't think that it's going to be like a long-term thing. Now fucking Meltzer's reporting that Okada is going to work Impact, and Tama Tonga shot that shit down so quickly. Meltzer is like an AEW advocate, though, so if Okada works Impact, it means that he might work AEW, and I just don't think either one of those things is ever going to happen. I really don't. I really just don't think that this is a real, like, full-blown thing. I think that it's just, like, bits and pieces are starting to fall into place that make people think that it's like a door cracking open that's going to get busted open over the next couple of years. But I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think it's just like they're cracking the door open to get their situations organized. And once everything is where it needs to be, the door closes back up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was said pretty well.
Okay. Next set of questions are from Hazardous Something, aka Gillis. I hope I pronounced your name right, dude. If I mispronounced that, please let me know. First up, I just finished watching Iron Fist Season 1, and it was the Marvel series I enjoyed the least so far. He did say, I know I'm behind, because he's kind of trying to catch up on Marvel stuff slowly but surely. But he added, what did you think about it? And he also wanted us to avoid spoiling Season 2, which is pretty easy because we haven't watched Season 2 in so long. That it's barely even on our minds. So we just watched Season 1 like a month ago. Maybe not even. It might have even been this month. It might even be part of our answer to the Rotten Butter question this month because we might have watched it this month.
Yeah, dude, we've done so much Marvel content. Like, it all kind of blends together, honestly, in terms of when did we watch what. Wait, I'm sorry. What actually was the question there? Did you just want our thoughts on it?
What did you think of Iron Fist Season 1?
It's funny, Hazardous, and I think it's pronounced Jill, personally, because he's French. It's funny to me because I think when it first came out and it was like the new thing, like the hot Marvel property on Netflix, I could see why it was judged a bit more harshly. for me personally, it's one of those properties that's actually aged better as time has gone on. And that's even bearing in mind worthwhile criticisms that Ashton's had about the property, particularly Danny Rand as a character, being way too pushy, like on Colleen and stuff, and leveraging the dynamics of his wealth and class position and everything else, which, again, I think are worthwhile criticisms. But even taking that into account, I do think I've liked the series more as time has gone on, particularly the first season, keeping the question to that, than when it first came out. Because it's like, you had Daredevil and Luke Cage's first season, especially the first half, I thought was incredible. Jessica Jones season 1 is still my favorite Netflix MCU season of anything. It's just so good, perfectly casted. But I think, it stands on its own. I think when you really just, like, take it on its own merits and not relative to, is it going to be better than this, or this, it's good. I enjoy it. What do you think, man?
I think I did enjoy this season. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the story, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like Danny Rand as a character. I just don't. He's the living embodiment of white privilege. I just do not like the dude. He is pushy. He's privileged. He doesn't know how privileged he is, and he flaunts it, and he throws his weight around, and like, there are some definite, like, good, like, he's got a moral compass kind of thing moments, like, forcing, Rand Enterprises to sell that life-saving drug at cost and shit like that. Like, there's definitely good shit that he does, but he also is just so, like, I know I'm right, and I'm going to kill people or fight people that think that what I'm right is what's right to me is wrong. And I'm not going to have any regrets about it because that's just who I am and that's how I do. And it's like, he just got this smug sense of, like, he just knows everything, and everything that he thinks is right is just right because he thinks it's right. I just don't like him. I don't like him as a character, but I do enjoy the show, if that makes sense. Like, to me, he's the worst part of the show. Even though he's the main character, him being the worst part of the show doesn't make me dislike the show entirely. Does that make sense?
I really like Colleen. Colleen,
I do. Colleen is great. Yeah, I love Colleen.
Yeah.
I would say Malcolm with Jessica Jones is my favorite side character, but Colleen is a very close second.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So, second question from Hazard. Same question for WandaVision. It's so cool to see new content with so much stuff to talk about. So, basically, what did you think about WandaVision? So, we've got episode 7. Episode 8 is tonight. I can't fucking wait. I love this show.
Yeah, it's credit to Marvel. I mean, of course, when you make the kind of money that they do, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But really, I mean, on some real shit, credit to them for betting on themselves and doing something so different. Because, a lot of people that did early screenings and stuff, I remember we'd watch the videos were from, like, New Rockstars and, Beyond the Trailer, where it's like, oh, they got access to, I think, like, the first 3. And they're like, oh, it's different and it's a bit weird, but, just keep an open mind. But, like, I loved it from the first episode, and I think you did too. I distinctly remember us watching the first episode together. You laughed multiple times in the course of that episode, I feel like. I feel like you were all in on, the aesthetic and them doing the homages to old TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that and, like, the fucking unedited footage of a bear vibe that we started getting, like, with the fucking, stop it! That scene was like, oh my god, what's happening right now?
Yeah, and, when they do twists, I feel like they land, it doesn't feel contrived.
Yep.
Especially the latest twist that they did, with a very catchy song that I have listened to multiple times.
All along, yeah.
So proud of her for killing Sparky, too. But yeah.
Oh my god. You know how I feel about dogs, why would you?
I don't know. I'm just, because most villains wouldn't really commit. There's always a limit. That's why I was proud of the new Halloween movie when it actually killed a child. I'm like, holy shit, that's hardcore. They never do that. He snapped that boy's neck. I was like, holy shit, you're serious. It's always good to know that they're not playing around, It's good shit.
God.
I'm not even saying, like, oh yeah, I hate puppies. I mean, I own a dog. Granted, I don't really like my dog, but that's a separate issue.
Oh my God.
It's more just I like villains being villains, and it's good that they don't have a filter. That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Okay, well, I appreciate your candidness.
There you go.
I guess
That's
I could
a
say
nice way to spin it.
your candor, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, my candor. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Third question from Hazard. I've started. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've started watching Stardom with you guys. And a lot of names and faces and championships are new, and I'm still learning them, just like when I first started watching New Japan. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'm curious though, if New Japan and Stardom were to do intergender matches, what would you like to see? And I'm just going to take the ball right away and say Mayu versus Okada and Mayu versus Ibushi, because I feel like she is a hybrid of those two men.
Okay, well, I need to give something, otherwise you're going to make me look like a bitch. So, Konami versus ZSJ or Shuri versus ZSJ. Yep. Just would want to see one of them, work submission.
And also one of those two women, or both of those women, against Kenta as well, of course.
That'd be great. Probably Shuri, because
and Suzuki.
And Suzuki. Well, Konami versus Suzuki especially. Mm-hmm. You know what? Speaking of Suzuki, I want Starlight Kid versus Suzuki. Because if she could get that kind of sympathetic babyface performance from, Julia, imagine Suzuki, just pummeling her. Yeah, Suzuki would be fucking great. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's crazy. Let's see, who's really Ozumi versus Ishii.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, really, I just want to see Ozumi versus the world, but
Actually, to kind of piggyback off that before I forget, Himeka versus Ishii, I'd like that.
Bro,
fucking
yeah, awesome. Himeka Goto.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Himeka Shingo.
Yeah, ooh, that's a good one.
I'm trying to think of who the most technical people are in New Japan to match up with Ozumi. Oh, I'm forgetting fucking junior heavyweights. Are you kidding me? Ozumi versus Hiromu, Ozumi versus Ishimori, Ozumi versus ELP even. That would be fun. Ozumi definitely versus Ryu Lee when he comes back. That's the high-speed match we need.
Yeah, I agree with all those.
Momo Ishii, holy shit.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's, honestly, other than the Mayu matches, that's my number one. Momo Ishii is holy shit.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, fourth and final question from Hazard. What are the pros and cons of AOS Season 5 according to you? Mom, close your ears. Just to be clear, guys, we're actually watching AOS Season 5 right now. We're on episode 16, I think we just watched 15. So I don't want to spoil my mom on anything because she is basically new to it. So, John, pros and cons of Season 5?
Now this is the LMD arc, correct?
Well, it's the whole season. It's the Ghost Rider arc, the LMD arc, the Framework arc, all of it.
I'm going to be honest, the Ghost Rider arc of the three that you listed off has always been the weakest to me. I never really cared for that, so that personally for me would be a con. I love the LMD and Framework stuff, though. I think it's so good.
Wait. I think I'm off. He's talking about Season 5, and he's talking about it's so underwhelming, in my opinion. Season 4 is his favorite so far. He enjoyed Enoch as a character. So Season 5 must be the one after the one that we're watching. Season 5 is the one where they go to the future and shit.
Oh. Is that, since your mom has her ears covered, is that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in space?
Yes, it is, yes.
Well, I mean, my voice is a pro right there. Trying to remember that season, because it is a bit hazy. I mean, I think what I've always liked about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is despite being a smaller budget show, being on ABC and stuff, they were still, I think, very bold in their concepts. Again, I find the concepts of LMD and the Framework to be very ambitious. And I think they do them very well. And of course, going to space, I actually admire them for their restraint that it took 5 seasons for them to do that. Normally, most seasons that are, or most shows that are like that, you do it maybe in the first 2 to 3, but they really held off. God, I really am kind of fuzzy on the season though. What were some pros to you when you think about that?
To me, my sort of favorite moments from Season 5 are the Deke moments. I think that was what his name was. I fucking loved that dude. He was hilarious. The very end of the season with the way that Daisy defeated Graviton or whatever it was. I think that was Graviton. And like the fucking Fitz thing where the building falls and the whole thing happened, like that's easily one of the top 2 most emotional moments in the history of the show. I fucking die every time that moment happens because we've watched the season twice already and we're going up on our 3rd time, and like it never fails to get me misty-eyed, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I know that there isn't actually a consequence for it because we know that we do end up seeing him again afterwards. It's like, shit, man, this is fucking awful. And Mac, dude, the 2 most emotional moments in the history of the show all just involve Mac crying and getting emotional. The first one is the Spy's Goodbye with Bobby and Hunter. The second one is the Fitz thing. And I lose it both of those. Both of those, I can't keep my shit together. They're both just like, what the fuck? And it's all because of fucking Mac, big, tall, strong man getting emotional. I'm just like, oh God, I can't do it.
Yeah, I understand that, man. Mac is so good. Like, he's definitely a character that I think in the later seasons definitely grew on me. So yeah, that's definitely a strong point. I mean, I think why it's hard for me to think about certain specific pros and cons is because, again, it has been a minute and we've just had so much Marvel content since then. But I just really like the core cast. Yeah. You know, the chemistry and the relationships and the dynamics. Like, we even see it right now with the season they're currently watching. The vulnerability, the trust, the camaraderie. I think it just plays well in any situation. So I feel like, you know, so long as those dynamics are intact, and
I think the biggest pro to season 5 really is Fitz, though, just in general. Like Fitz's entire arc, because like at the beginning he's the only one that doesn't get abducted, and like he has the whole like, I'm gonna become a badass fighter now. Like he basically becomes Star-Lord. And then like the moment with him proposing to Gemma, but she didn't hear it, so she ends up proposing to him, and he's like, wait, I already did this. And then the marriage, and then the death, and like Fitz is season 5's star. You know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, in fact, you saying that now, that does jog my memory a little bit. Yeah, I would say Fitz is a huge positive.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
The return of Lance Hunter for that one episode.
Yes, that's right. I loved
that. That was awesome. God, what else? Negatives-wise, I really didn't like the villain of season 5. And I don't mean like the way that you're supposed to not like a villain, but like, I always have had an aversion to cowardly villains where it's like, I'm going to send my minions to do my dirty work type shit. I've always been like, oh God, I just want to get past this. And that's exactly how I feel about the villain in season 5 of AOS.
Wasn't he a guy that just wanted to sell the planet that he was on for money or whatever?
No. I forget, what was it? Cassius. That's
Cassius. Yeah, Cassius. But like,
no. He basically was trying to prove to his dad that he could be a leader, and he was like, you know, these people see me as a god, like they're never gonna stand up to me and shit like that, and like he was like controlling their fucking food supply and stuff like that, and making them for his own entertainment and selling off Inhumans and shit. Like he was really, really just a fucking horrible like dictator that nobody could stand up against. But also like he was a fucking coward that refused to actually get his hands dirty. He didn't, you know, he had other people kill other people. Like I don't know. Like I just am not a fan of that type of villain.
Yeah, I don't think I am either, dude. Now, you know, I mean, again, look at how I just went to bat for Agatha a few questions ago.
I will say, since he was the villain of like the first half of the show, or the first maybe 2/3, Talbot becoming Graviton was fucking great. Like his descent into madness and the powers that he gained from the fucking Gravitonium, and like the whole end of the season with him being the primary villain was great. And I liked Ruby as a villain too. She was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was another positive too. I do agree. Because that went to some dark places too, if I remember correctly.
Dude, yes. Like, oh God. The whole like him being like fucking Hydra brainwashed, and then like Coulson brings him in to try and help him, and then his fucking wife calls him and reads the "you will comply" text. Like, oh God, I hated that so much.
Oh God, yeah.
That was the good kind of hate though. That was like the, oh you bastard, I hate you kind of hate, rather than like, oh, can we get past this please kind of hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I think we've kind of covered as much as we can. If you have anything else left to say about AOS season?
No, let's move on.
Next set of questions are from Super Blue. First one is just for me. I can't believe I'm the only one that got exclusive questions in this Q&A, John. People are neglecting you. I'm so sorry.
No, it's what I deserve. I had it coming.
Wow. For the question, though, is what Super Bowls would you save, redo, or delete out of Tom Brady's 10 Super Bowl appearances? The other 7 stay the same. So, the one that I would save is this past one because it was a damn good game. The one that I would delete is the Rams one because that was fucking awful. And the one that I would redo is the first one against the Giants because the Patriots win that game 99 times out of 100, but Eli Manning had a fucking rabbit's foot shoved up his ass on that day. And the fucking David Tyree catch and all that shit. Patriots should have won that. And Brady should have 8 by now. He should have 8 fucking rings, for Christ's sakes. Plus that would have finished out the perfect season, and like I would have loved to have witnessed history. It would have been really cool. Plus, then like people wouldn't be on their shit about, oh, Tom Brady can't beat NFC East teams in the Super Bowl. I hate it so much.
Can I actually ask a sidebar question?
What?
Just because we're here. Do you think Brady will retire when he gets a ring for each finger? You think that's the goal for him?
Oh my god, dude! If he does.
Like I'm only half joking because I'm like,
high key, like is there a greater big dick move than that?
Because like, and again, I know I'm out of my element here, so please like be patient with me. But like, he seems like he has the ego, right? Where it's like he wants one for each finger. That's how I would be if I had the kind of hype around me that he does. And then I feel like when he gets the 10th one, it's like, well, unless I'm interested in toe rings now, I can call it a career. You know, like I don't know, man. I have that feeling.
I love it.
You just, yeah.
Oh man, the like I said, the big dick energy just emanating from that as a potential decision is hilarious to me.
Oh god, and you know he's such a douche too, because like I don't know if he's married or whatever, but like say he wasn't and he had those 10 fucking rings, you know he like goes to a bar or whatever, and the way he rests his head on his hand just to show off all the rings, like, you know, I'm kind of an athlete. What do you do? And it's just like, we see what you're doing there,
man.
Thomas.
This, yeah, that's God. If only he was more charismatic and he could really talk some shit.
I know, right? Oh man.
Anyway,
all right, so
let's move on. Second question from Super Blue: why did WWE wait 17 years to let the #1 entrant win the Royal Rumble again?
Because WWE going WWE. I mean, I really don't have a better answer.
Personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's smart that you want to make something like that really special. I just think it's fucking stupid that they had a 40-something-year-old dude do it. Like, to me, that's something you give to like a Daniel Bryan or like another. I mean, we're talking about another 40-plus-year-old dude, but I think you'll understand when I say it. AJ Styles or like an Andrade or, you know, like a true fucking workhorse. Like, Edge is good. I don't have a problem with Edge. He's great, actually. But like, isn't he? He's on the wrong side of 40. Like, the dude's closer to 50 than he is 40. He shouldn't have, kayfabe wise, he shouldn't have that kind of fucking endurance, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was always kind of my thing about it. Like, I really don't even have a problem with Edge necessarily winning the Royal Rumble. And maybe they even had him win at #1 and stuff, because I've seen, now I'm just going to come clean with it. I saw Vince Russo's remarks that fucking Roman should beat Edge in 10 seconds. And maybe they just wanted to make Edge #1 because maybe people would have doubts. Like, come on, is a 47-year-old Edge really going to be able to stand up to either a Drew or a Roman? And, you know, like, again, they are slowly selling me on the Roman
that's
program.
fair. Because, like, Edge's whole thing hasn't always been, oh, I'm this amazing athlete, or, oh, I've got this amazing body. It's always just, I'm smarter than everyone else.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I didn't mind it, and I actually agree with your initial point, is so as not to lose the thread, that if you did even #1 entrance, say, like every 5 years, it would get a little bit predictable and a little overdone. I mean, to wait that long, nearly 2 decades before you did it again, that's impressive restraint for them. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, like, I think you have to wait no less than 10 years, and then, like, to me, though, it's less about just waiting longer, and it's more about picking the right guy to do it, or the right woman, because I would fucking love to see Sasha pull that off, or like Ember, or someone along those lines. But like, yeah, I think my problem with it isn't that they waited this long. My problem with it is that they did it with fucking Edge of all people, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so then second question, because he didn't have to win from that spot. He could have won from the 3 spot. He could have won from the 6 spot. He could have won from, like, it's like they're going out of the way to be like, hey guys, Edge might be old, but he's still got amazing endurance. And I'm just like, why would you want us to know that? I don't care.
$50 says Edge, or excuse me, $50 says Vince was projecting all of his insecurities on Edge in his booking there.
Yeah,
all these people talking shit about old people. I'll show them old people can still do things. Edge, go out there and win the Rumble at number 1. I'm gonna be so tired. Or you sure do it, okay?
Third question from Super Blue: why hasn't New Japan helped Stardom get an English page for their website? Google Translate might work, but it's not reliable.
Problem with Google, Jesus, can I talk today? Fuck. The problem with Google Translate, there we go, baby steps, is that I think it messes with the site's functionality. Because we know at times, like when you translate the page and you're trying to input information, it won't process it correctly. So you need to go back to the original Japanese text for your information to process correctly. So that's my biggest problem with Translate. As far as like why New Japan hasn't helped, I think that's the wrong question. You should more be asking why Bushiroad hasn't done that, because they're the company that owns both New Japan and Stardom. Yeah. And to answer that question, I don't know. What about you, Ashton? You have thoughts on this?
No, I'm just same. I just am pretty much on the same page as you on this, because yeah, I mean it's annoying. I won't deny that, but I mean New Japan ain't gonna do shit. It's Bushiroad. Like, I mean, maybe New Japan has resources at their disposal thanks to Bushiroad that Stardom doesn't have, and maybe they could share those resources with Stardom. I don't know. But at the end of the day, they're not, they're not like whispering in each other's ears like, hey, check this out. I got this thing. Check this out. You should do this too. Like, they're still like independent companies. They just happen to be owned by the same corporation, you know?
And I want to point out, too, that, like, we don't even know the, how can I put this? Like, the state of Stardom necessarily, because this is a website that, if I remember correctly, when I first subscribed to it, like, all that time back, was like, oh, soon we'll be getting a PayPal option. I still haven't seen a PayPal option.
No, yeah, dude. The website and the Twitter are run by one dude, and it's the same dude, and it's the same dude that also sometimes runs cameras on the shows. Like, he's pretty fucking swamped. He's got a lot on his table, and really, I feel like if Stardom would just hire one or two more people to kind of fill out those roles, it would probably improve the quality of all 3 of those roles pretty significantly. So I don't know. The guy's just fucking swamped. Like, it's literally one dude runs the website, runs the Twitter, films matches and stuff, and like backstage shit that he puts up on Twitter for the We Are Stardom Twitter channel and stuff like that, or Twitter account. So like, yeah, he's really overwhelmed with work. So
yeah, just get more manpower, so to speak. Get more people behind that.
Yeah, like literally, you only need like 1 or 2 more people, and like, be nice if at least one of those 1 or 2 was a woman. I'm just saying.
I mean, it is an all-women's promotion, so...
I'm just saying, yeah. Oh, man. Next up, 4th question from Super Blue. How are we, as fans, supposed to enjoy wrestling when so many performers are shit human beings?
I mean, you either acknowledge it and do the best you can, or block it out, and just be like, no, that's not going to affect me. I can make the separation. And here's the thing, I think we do a little bit of both. Like, I've definitely been harder on a lot of performers, but I'm sure, like, honestly, and I've thought this for a while, I'm sure something would come out about Morrison, even if it's just politically, because I can't help but feel like he's a Trump supporter. Yeah. I've always felt like he's more conservative for whatever reason. And if that would come out, yeah,
it would make sense.
I mean, and if that would come out, I'd honestly have to say, well, you're never going to make another Fave 5 again. Like, I can't support somebody that would vote for somebody that, like, has done the thing. I'm not even going to go through it because that's completely unrelated. But you guys know. I mean, Jesus Christ. So I'd have to be like, fuck him. And that would really hurt, because I have spoken very candidly about what Morrison has meant to me, especially in my, lower ebbs in life, especially after the Benoit tragedy and stuff like that. But if he would throw his weight behind a guy like that, fuck him. That's just really how it's got to be. Art has its place, but we want the art, hopefully to come from principal places. And that's the thing. And the thing is, too, I think what really frustrates me, and I'll never get over this, it's not even so much what the people do, although depending on, who it is, it could be especially heinous, right? It's the idea that, like, you do this shit, but then you don't get better from it. And when everybody tells you that it's really horrible what you did. Because instead it's just like, well, I hear you and I respect your experience, but, well, that just disregards everything, doesn't it? Like, that's really what it's about. So I don't know, Super Blue. Like, it is difficult, but I mean, copy paste. How can we enjoy movies knowing that a lot of
yes,
people
that's where I was going to go with it. Is
yeah,
there are a lot of pieces of shit in wrestling, but guess what? There are a lot of pieces of shit in Hollywood and in music too. And really, like, it really a lot of the time just comes down to whether you're aware of it or not. And if you're aware of it, then you have to make a conscious decision to either try and avoid that person's art, or just try and cognitively separate the actor from the work, or the art from the artist, in a sense.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you said it well, man. I feel good about how I said it. So if you want to move on from this.
Fifth and final question from Super Blue: how do you feel about Cesaro re-signing with the WWE? And if not for the pandemic, do you think he would still have re-signed with them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm going to be real. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just jumping right in and answering these. Do you want to take this?
No, man, that's fine. I'll take the next one.
Okay. Okay. Because let me just look up something real quick and confirm something real quick. Yeah, dude's fucking 40. Or at least he's, is he going to be 40? No, yeah, he is 40. Cesaro's 40. Okay, and is he still a beast? Abso-fucking-lutely. He's another AJ Styles, where he can be that old and go at just such an impressive level to me. That said, he's not going to go anywhere else. He's not. Like, when you have, because he's been with WWE, I feel like, has it been 10 years at this point? I feel like it's been 10 years at this point.
Yeah, because he was in FCW when I did an FCW Superstar Spotlight on him at one point. So it hasn't been the full 10 years, but it's been close to it, like 9-ish years, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that, yeah. When you've with the company that long, you get secure, you're in a good rhythm, and that's the thing. I think at this stage of his career, would he like to be a world champion? I think he would be. I think he's one of those guys that believes in himself. Like, if they would just give me, one shot, I could knock it out of the park. I could do something with this, blah, blah, blah. And I like that confidence, right? But I think also at the stage of his career, he's like, I'm making my money. I did my art on the indies, and that's how I blew everybody's minds. I'm in a good rhythm. I'm comfortable. Just going to go to work, clock out, get the payday, and I'm going to live comfortably, which especially in times of like a pandemic, you're comfortable for. Because and again, when you're that late in your career, you could bet on yourself maybe and go somewhere else. But if he's already making the dollar amount that he is with the E for being there so long, why risk it? Why rock the boat? It's a completely different thing from the Big Show, where like he has that quote unquote legend status and he's doing fucking commentary for AEW right now. And so many people made a big deal out of it, and I'm like, I really don't care.
Yeah, I have heard he is gonna wrestle for them, but like, I don't want to hear that dude's voice.
Yeah, I'm like, you do you, man, but I don't really. It's not really my thing. And with Cesaro, I like seeing him compete in WWE. I think he's doing very well for himself. And yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't risk it. Absolutely not. I think, all that stuff about, being treated better. I've got job security. I very easily could have been a Heath Slater, but I proved my value to this company and they kept me. So, like, I think he's in a good spot. I think when you look at his life and you look at maintaining a life, and when you look at the more mature aspects and not just about how many titles, how many illusory brass rings has he accumulated, you really see that he's got a good deal. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nail on the head. I would just say the job security thing, and also, like, I mean, what's he going to do? Go to New Japan where he can be used the exact same way, except now he can't understand the language?
Yeah.
He's not going to
pretty much.
WGP world title, like, they're not going to put any major titles on him. Maybe US title, but, like, he can win the US title in the WWE, and then, like, he's with his family,
Yeah, exactly. He's made a community there. Yeah. He gets a steady income. Like, yeah.
He's got, really, like, the up, down shit going on. Like, I know he's part of that.
I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Cesaro now because he deserves it. He seems like a sweetheart, at least I hope. See, going back to the previous question about pieces of shit. But, like, compared to most jobs, which are legitimate shitholes, he's got a really good deal. Because you even just reminded me about the friends and stuff, obviously, that he's made at work. Why leave all that at this stage of your life and your career? Like, nah, he's got it good. I don't worry about him.
All right, let's get into our next set of questions. We've got 5 from Revel Icon. First up, what country would you love to retire to? And he said, personally, I choose Havana, Cuba.
Okay, permitting that there'd be no language issues or anything like that, Greece. Yeah, Greece. I mean, obviously, ancient philosophy roots, that's a given. It's always seemed like, and I would choose a tranquil part of the country, just live it out, read my fucking books right here and there. Be good shit. Yeah, that's the place for me. What about you, bud? Nice. What country would you retire to?
Yeah, there's various answers that I could go with here. The one place that stands out to me is South Korea.
Oh, nice.
It's like, like technologically, like really at the forefront of the world. They have they literally have a smart city, like it's like, just to experience that would be wild. Another place that comes to mind is Singapore, because from what I understand, their internet is like insanely fast and insanely cheap, and they get, they're like an early adopter market. Like they get a lot of shit before the US actually. So that would be interesting. Canada is like maybe, but how much different is it really from the US? Like why even bother at that point? And then of course there's like the Japan option, just because then we would literally be able to go to Stardom and New Japan shows, and that would be fucking awesome. Where else would I even consider? I don't know. I don't really know where else I would even consider, honestly.
I liked your answers, man. That's good shit. All right. Next question.
Yeah, I feel like, Iceland. Iceland is another big one. Iceland is, from everything I hear about Iceland, is that it's absolutely gorgeous. The weather is typically amazing. It's a fucking island, so if there are any pandemics, Iceland is like one of the last places that has to deal with that shit. And typically, I mean, we just saw with the fucking COVID, there are no cases of COVID. Iceland had a grand total of like double-digit infections of COVID ever, and it's just completely expunged from the country. So, like, yeah, Iceland would be another really good one. Next question, though, from Revel. Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. One has to go. The pay-per-view, not the match.
Elimination Chamber. It was Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, and what?
That was it. Just those 3.
Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. You know what? I'm gonna say Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. You get rid of the pay-per-view, you put it back on WrestleMania. That's all you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Next question.
Fuck the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Get rid of that shit.
Yeah. Fuck it.
All right. Third question from Revel Icon. Would you rather live in ignorance and be happy, or know the truth and be miserable?
See, I never like questions like this.
I know, because it's like, why can't we know the truth and be happy?
Well, yeah, because they act like either state of mind, right? Like the happiness or the misery is just like in stasis.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to change it. Like I feel like that's bullshit. Yeah. Now the truth could be hard at first.
I know, right?
There are definitely some visceral and hard truths at first. But like, for as much as I like to bitch about human beings, and I am definitely misanthropic, we're really resilient at the core. I think we can ultimately process and handle information. So I'd rather labor under the truth, because the happiness with the ignorance anyway is a false happiness. You can't call that a true happiness if it's being supported and being fed by a lie, right? Whereas with the truth, it's like, okay, well, at least I'm starting to feel authentic things. This misery I'm feeling is real. Therefore, the happiness I can cultivate, in response to that is real.
Exactly. See, that's where I am, is like, I try my best to seek the truth all the time. I prefer, if I had to choose between something true that makes me sad and something that's a lie that makes me happy, I will take the truth 100 times out of 100. I'll find a way to accept it into my consciousness, and then I'll find a way to be happy afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, the whole you find out the truth but you're miserable thing, like, yeah, okay, maybe when I was like in college, sure, I was learning some truths that I wasn't happy with, and it made me feel like life wasn't worth living or what the fuck ever. But like, you get over it and you learn to cope with it, and you learn to just like try and take that sort of anger, that negative energy out in healthy ways. And that's, I feel like, a lot of what we do, you know.
And I mean, if I could just add to that, only because again, this question really rubbed me the wrong way. You know, as a philosopher, you know, that engages in the community and has many just wonderful colleagues, I'm all for problematizing the notion of truth. You know, like what truth is, how it's socially produced, who controls it, you know, whatever. I'm all for that. But again, you're asking, would I rather know real information, essentially, like so and so may have a terminal disease that I love and I'm close to, or this and that, or would I rather just be in ignorance? I think this question is actually more politically and sociologically loaded than we might think at first glance. I'll give you a perfect example. We're on colonized land. We're all participating in colonialism when we reap its benefits. Now, that doesn't mean we're maliciously participating. You know, it's not like Ashton and I are going to an indigenous plot of land, right, and just harassing and whatever the indigenous peoples, but we still are beneficiaries of the system of exploitation and domination. Now, imagine if we never went beyond the American education system, right? If we never went beyond the idea of, oh, we were given this land willingly. Oh, it was brokered in peace. And we never knew about the genocide and this and that. Now, is that truth uncomfortable? Hell yeah. Is that painful? And does it make you kind of reassess your own image as kind of a participant in a nation state, or I guess to put it more plainly, an American, for instance? Yeah. But it's only through that misery and that discomfort that maybe we can be forward-facing and have new political projects that are more inclusive and egalitarian. Only because of this misery of like, oh my God, my country's actually really shit, and this needs to change, do I think, well, then how can I make it better? So that these people don't get harmed for my benefit or the country's benefit anymore, and there's a different way of it being self-sustaining. You know, that's, I think, the benefit. Ignorance really is a political tool. We have to think about the political implications that inhere in the concept of ignorance. Same way, right, with racism currently. People that want to be ignorant to the facts of white supremacy. And, you know, again, want to buy the grade school version of, okay, fine, so maybe a few police officers hose down a few black protesters, but we're over it now when they're not looking at it as a systemic and structural problem, right? Which is the uncomfortable truth, right?
Yep.
But you need to face that, again, for more forward-looking political projects.
That's why we say abolish the police.
Exactly. And it was an uncomfortable truth at first. No, I mean, it's not... Here's the thing, Rebel. I never want you to apologize for asking a question. I'm not going to shame you for being like, how dare you participate in Q&A on Q&A, right? It's just more that, like, I think we need to think about the phrasing of that question and what these concepts mean. Who benefits from ignorance? What is truth in a society that, again, our American education system really kind of tells half-baked narratives? I mean, it's coming out now, right, that the FBI, surprise, surprise, right, had a hand in Malcolm X's assassination. Because the security guards that were supposed to man, I guess, the doorway at a speech he was giving, the police enticed those guards into committing crimes, you know, and then so it was going to be unmanned for the assassination to take place. And now you ask any black leftist or anybody that's, you know, obviously left of liberal and left of the status quo, they're not going to be surprised by it because they always knew. But I guarantee you there's somebody out there that finds that to be a really uncomfortable truth where it's like, oh, I thought police meant to protect people. I didn't know that they could be this against black people or the concept of blackness. But maybe that discomfort, that truth, will be an awakening for them if they choose it to be. Or they could choose the ignorance, which I'm going to be honest.
And there's also a big part of me that's like, if I'm ignorant and happy, but the things that I say or the things that I do out of that ignorance makes other people unhappy, then that makes me unhappy too. Because I don't want to make anyone feel bad.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
I
like,
love that energy, Foster, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah. Yeah, Foster hit the nail on the head there. Like, yeah, we shouldn't be over it, and like Foster said, as a black man, we ain't over it. Yeah, like nobody should be over it, but the general public is over it, and it's fucking gross.
And actually, you make a great point there about like how you shouldn't be happy because your actions could, be making other people miserable or just hurting other people. I think that's 100% right, for one. And two, again, like, at the risk of being an asshole, but I'm already like so deep into this question because I'm like, no, we're gonna get after this question. I feel like the happy and ignorance, that's honestly a great simplification of what a fucking reactionary is. Like, they are happy in their ignorance and they want to uphold that status
Yeah, I was even
quo,
gonna say,
right?
like, Jeff Bezos is probably happier than a pig in shit, but that doesn't make him a good person. He's a piece of shit.
Exactly. Like this dude was literally like, so Jeff, when you retire, what do you think you're going to do with all your money? I don't know, travel space. Like, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. So yeah, Revel, I'm actually glad that you asked this because I've always had a problem with these types of questions and I really got to get it all out on the table. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't. We can move on. Our fourth, I think. Yeah, fourth question from Revel. What's the biggest case of deja vu you've ever experienced?
Ooh.
I want to hear your answer to this first.
I know for a fact I've had instances of deja vu, but the biggest? I mean, I remember once as a kid where a day I was having at school seemed very similar to another day I was having, to the point where when I got home, I told my grandmother that I thought I time traveled, and she very quickly shot that down and made me feel like an idiot for it. So maybe that's it. If it has a fucking story with it, that's got to be the biggest one.
Have you ever gotten deja vu so bad that you talked about having deja vu with someone and continued experiencing the deja vu while talking about having deja vu?
I don't think so, man.
I have. It's fucking wild.
Wow, that's crazy.
I felt like I had a superpower or something because it was like basically I was driving in the car, headed up to Palmyra, and I told my mom, I'm having the craziest deja vu right now. Oh my God, it's still going on. Oh my God, all of this. I'm supposed to say all of this. This is all part of the deja vu. I was freaking out because it just kept going and it kept feeling familiar even though I was acknowledging that it was deja vu. It was fucked up, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
But yeah, that's definitely the craziest example of deja vu that I have in my history.
All right, next question.
Final question from Revel. What would your Luchador mask design be like?
Ooh.
I would definitely want an open mouth hole and open eye holes. I wouldn't
agree with that.
The kind that either covers your whole face or covers your eyes. I would want mine to probably be mostly lime green. Actually, no. It would be mostly black with lime green and dark purple highlights.
I like that.
Dark purple would be low lights more than highlights. And I would want it to be like... You know how Ray has like dragons going down into his face?
Yeah.
I would want it to be fucking dinosaurs.
Ooh, that's dope. I think I agree with you about the open mouth and eye holes. I would want a black mask mixed with red. Because, like, black, gray, and red are, like, the three colors I fuck with. Let me think. Hold on. Doing some research. Ooh. Wait, let me verify this. Okay. I would want this symbol on my mask. I'm going to post a link in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Sorry this took me a bit longer, but I actually do like to play with these questions a bit more, so. Yeah, that's the symbol I'd want. I typed in the Mexican Aztec symbol for wisdom, and this came up.
Ooh, I'm right on your forehead, right?
Yeah, right on the forehead.
It could be your third eye.
Yeah, that's the mask I'd want.
I love it.
Yeah, I gave a thoughtful answer.
Good job, bud. All right, are we moving on?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Next set of questions is from Mark. We've got 5 from him. First up, if there is no takeover on WrestleMania weekend, since it is 2 days, should the NXT and NXT Women's Championships be defended at WrestleMania 37?
Yeah. I mean, Balor's been at WrestleMania before, and assuming he's the champion, why shouldn't he be at WrestleMania again just because he's on the NXT brand now? That makes no sense to me. So, yeah, I'd be all for that.
100% agree, my friend.
All right, next question.
Next question from Mark is, if someone doesn't go through the door, are they actually even on Ding Dong Hello?
I don't think so. And I wish people would start putting respect on Bayley's name in her show and go through the fucking door. So I'm glad somebody brought this up.
All right.
Yeah, I have opinions. Damn right.
We appreciate your opinions, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. So, third question from Mark. As build up to Roman versus Edge, do you think at Fastlane we could see Roman and Jay versus Edge and Christian?
Roman and Jay versus Edge and Christian. Yeah, I could conceive that potentially. Although I do think Jay's going to be tied up with Kevin Owens. So, but it's definitely on the table, I feel like. So I'm not opposed. What do you think?
I don't think that's going to happen. Frankly, if we do ever get another Edge and Christian tag team match, I hope it's against New Day with Xavier Woods involved.
There you go. We got to settle that whole Kazoo versus what was it Xavier would play? Because I know it was Francesco
Trombone?
Turbo. Trombone, that was it. I wanted to say trombone, but I wasn't sure. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Plus, I just know that Woods is a huge Christian fan. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Fourth question from Mark. Should Konami ditch Oedo Tai and join DDM?
I was going to say yes.
I'm going to say no unless Shooty leaves DDM, because I don't think that Konami wants to be in the same faction as Shooty. She would basically just be like a less powerful version of someone already in the faction, because, you know, Stardom books Shooty way stronger than they book Konami.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could make it narratively work only if, because remember, part of the Shuri Konami story is that Shuri had a hand in training Konami.
Yeah. And
Konami's whole thing is like, I'm going to surpass you, Shuri. I'm going to drag you into submission hell, which again, I really can't wait to see Konami try and back up that claim. But I want to see Konami lead a faction, not be a part of another one.
I know, right? Yeah. She should have been the leader of New Oedo Tai, god damn it.
Yeah, then maybe I wouldn't want it to disband. So, yeah, I think it's Konami's time to lead a faction. Anybody that's like, oh, hey, Konami, follow me. Yeah, get fucked. That's not happening. I'm leading this shit now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. That's the energy I want Konami to kind of emanate. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I don't think I want her in DDM personally.
Yeah. All right. Fifth and final question from Mark. Do you like the Capitol Wrestling Center? I hate it and feel like it makes me want to not watch NXT.
I've
By the way,
had a problem with
just to be clear, that was not my answer. That was Mark saying that.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with the venue, Mark. I think the venue's fine.
Yeah, I actually dig it. I think it's cool, personally.
Yeah. Next question.
It's unfortunate that it makes you feel that way.
Yeah, it's a very visceral reaction. I was kind of surprised.
Next set of questions are from Mets. And first up is, where does the relationship between Impact, AEW, and New Japan seem to be going? Because I can't see where it's going.
I haven't really paid enough attention to really even answer where it's going, but I think it's just a temporary thing. And where it's going is to AEW's benefit, I feel like. And maybe Impact's benefit, because I know they're dealing with a smaller audience these days. But, you know, we'll have to see. I
mean, I don't know. To me, it really is just as simple as maybe it's not really going anywhere bigger. Maybe they're literally just doing it. The New Japan involvement, at least, they're just doing it as a way to get the fucking Universal title off Moxley.
Yeah, there you go. I like that answer too.
Did I say Universal?
I thought you said U.S. Championship.
Yeah, well, yeah, the U.S. title.
Right.
That's the one. Anyway, second question from Mets. Should New Japan donate some of its sales to help some of the victims of the recent Fukushima quake?
I mean, I think it'd be a good thing for them to do, but that's on them, I guess.
I mean, thankfully, the Japanese government seems to actually handle these things well, so maybe they wouldn't need to.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Wouldn't it be nice if the U.S. government was that good too? Man, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Why did I think you were going to start out in song in that first half? You sounded so singy, like in that
well,
first half.
I was singing the song.
Wouldn't it be great? And then you're just like, you go back to
it's a song. It is a song. You've never heard that song?
No, and I don't care to.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could break? Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Jesus. I feel like we just had some kind of an experience. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. Don't worry. Next question.
What the hell, man? The hostility, right? Jesus.
I'm just trying to shut it down before it starts. Next question.
Next question, the third and final question from Mets is, should we start doing standing trackers between you guys and the viewers during tournament season? BOSJ, G1, 5-star, etc.
Okay, apologies, but I don't understand the nature of the question. What is he asking here when he talks about trackers? Like, I'm serious.
Actively tracking people's records and shit.
That seems like a lot of work, Mets, and that's some real marky shit. I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm good.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
I'm just getting ready for my 30s. I'm like, oh no, right now, these ideas you come up with, I'm too tired for that shit. It's two people. It's our voices. Sometimes they're melodious. Other times they're screeching, and that's mainly me. This guy's pretty level. Deal with it. It's never going to be anything other than what it is.
Bro, did you just say I'm level? Have you listened to me live reacting to a fucking Starlight Kid match or an Ozumi match?
I mean, but even then, it's wholesome and it's pleasant. I understand that I could be grating sometimes when I really turn up. But, I'm feeling my boomer energy right now as I get older. That you are asking a lot right now. You need to simmer down. Yeah. I'm telling you. Simmer down. Maybe go to your room. I don't know, maybe both, but you need to do things because you're asking a lot right now, and it's a problem.
It's like, first of all, why? And then second of all, why should we care enough about, you realize this is an entertainment channel, right? We aren't doing these predictions to see who can be the most right. As much as I know that fits my character, I don't actually care about being the most right about my predictions. If that is something that you're passionate about, Mets, feel free to start up a spreadsheet, my friend.
And I just want to reply to Foster. John's going to be old man by 32. Bitch, I am already there. And I use that word lovingly, by the way. I love you so much. Please don't hate me. But I already eat shredded wheat and or Fiber One cereal. I'm already fucking there. I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah, John is a fucking boomer and a half at heart.
Yeah, I don't even know. Really, I don't even know what you motherfuckers talk about half the fucking time. I just want to come here, react to shit, and then read my goddamn books. That is literally all I want to fucking do. All these people that are like, hey, can we do this, big thing, and can we track records? I'm like, what is this? What is this right now? It's YouTube. Please go outside. Please. Please go outside. What is happening
It's
right
YouTube.
It's literally named YouTube, okay? Go outside.
I
feel so much better. I feel like I've been holding that.
You're giving off that energy where it's like you're just gonna show it to a recording one day and be like, "Oh yeah, guys, it's lit. Mood. Let's be savage."
Dude, how tired I was during that one Stardom Live reaction just because I got done working out. That is going to be me in 5 years just because we've gone through the cycle. So I'm going to be like, yeah, that was a great move there. Oh, my God. And a pointless comment in the chat. That's not the new there. And just go back to the action. Like, I'm telling you, I love you all, but sometimes
it's funny. Foster said that you were going to be an old man by 32 and me by 31, whereas I think we both already feel like old men, and I'm 30 and you're, 29 now?
29, yes.
So, Foster, did you think that John was older than me, or I don't know? Yeah, he's giving John more time to be an old man when this is the motherfucker that's over here eating fucking. What was the cereal, John?
Fiber One. I'm currently on shredded wheat, though. I haven't had Fiber One in a minute.
This dude has the diet of a 75-year-old.
Bro, I love that he gave you one fucking year that you're out to pasture. Not even. You got like a few months left, man. God damn.
I literally 6 months to the day. I'm officially 30 and a half today.
Dude, he's already looking up retirement homes for you and everything. Damn, I didn't know you were on the clock, brother. Shit.
Stop.
What are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with me? God.
So,
I feel really good about how we answered that question. I don't know you, but like I thought we killed it. So next question.
Fucking amazing about it, dude. You don't
know. Yes. You couldn't even contain it. All right, next question.
All right. Next question is from Rotten Butter, and it is the Rotten Butter question number 1, as always.
Just install a webcam in my bathroom and you figure it out.
In your bathroom? How much content are you watching in your bathroom?
More than you might think. Actually, not really. I don't know why I say things.
John's all about that shit, shave, shower, Netflix, and chill.
I'm really slowly beginning to think that subconsciously every like hyperbolic exclamatory thing that I say is really just a desperate cry for help. Somebody listen.
Fuck.
Somebody. Yeah, so let's go through it. Let me. God, can I be an adult for this question? I think I can. I believe in myself. Don't shut the fuck up right now. No, sorry. That was lashing out. That wasn't cool. So let's see. We've done a little bit of the challenge, me and the family. We did Paranormal. That's a really great Egyptian show. I love that. I actually I heard about it on my other Twitter. Somebody that I follow was like, "Oh, this is a really good show," and I'm like, I dig foreign shows because one of my favorite Netflix shows, which we still haven't watched the latest season of, not that I'm hurting inside. What the fuck are you talking about? Is Casa de Papel, which is just fucking amazing. That's right. You again, just so good. And I know Christy and I, in just our separate time, because we know Chris wouldn't vibe with it, are watching a South Korean show that's like a romance drama with like
sci-fi.
Beg pardon?
I said sci-fi.
And I was going to say very little sci-fi. Because it's like the sci-fi is more of like a narrative mechanism than like an overly thematic kind of thing that's just all in the world and whatever. Called Familiar Wife. And it's beautiful. And I love everyone. And the last 2 episodes that Christy and I watched last Monday actually really got up in my feels. And it's just good to know that I still have a sensitive side underneath all the just vitriol and trauma and just healed them. So, yeah. It's very, very healthy. Very, very healthy. Let's see, what else? Obviously doing a shit ton of Marvel stuff with you and your mom, bro. I mean, God, what shows do we even get through? I mean, we're still doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're on season 4, right? Because we said 5 would be upcoming.
Yeah.
Obviously done Rocket League, which is just the best fucking game ever. Like, why'd they even keep making video games after that?
John, I honestly, I appreciate the effort, but sarcasm is really not what I'm in the mood for right now.
So we've been doing that, and let's see what else. Trying to think about what I've watched with the family here. Oh, yeah, we watched. I forget what it's called, but it's like again one of those social psychology type shows where they take a person or a group of people and they do an experiment, and will the experiment work or not? It was about a guy that was very clearly racist, even though he's one of those people that's like, oh, I'm totally not racist. I just think there are too many immigrants, you know, it's a normal opinion. and they're trying to see if he can take a bullet for somebody that's just person of color, I think, or just somebody that doesn't identify with them in any way. That was an interesting watch. It was only like 40-some minutes. I'm trying to think what else we watched, because I always feel like the stuff with you, I remember more concretely just because it's so regular, whereas I only meet up with my family like once a week to do this stuff. Really can't remember anything else. I know music-wise, I know Never Tell came out with a new song. That was pretty good. I actually got an email today that I was one of their top 5 listeners on Spotify, so that was pretty cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I have a lot of their songs on my workout playlist, so that probably explains it. And let me think, what else? Yeah, I think that's pretty. And of course, I always, my philosophy shit, reading stuff here and there, but I never get into that because I know I'd lose the audience very quickly. So yeah, that's about it for me for the month. So what about you, bud?
Honestly, it's been mostly the stuff that you and I and my mom have all been watching together, which is 95% Marvel stuff, with WandaVision. Plus, we've been keeping up with the MCU itself. Like we're doing a full, just the most thorough possible Marvel Cinematic Universe rewatch from the beginning. We started in like fucking September or some shit. Like we've been doing this forever. It feels like. I would say just this month. I want to say that God, what did we even? Well, yeah, we did, but I feel like we've been doing more than we I don't know when what we started with this month, because we were doing stuff in January pretty actively too, but like we've done. I mean, shit, Luke Cage. Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger Season 2, Defenders, Newsfront Season 2, Captain America Civil War, Black Panther. We finished out AOS Season 3, and we're about 2/3 of the way through AOS Season 4. Spider-Man Homecoming, Punisher Season 1, Doctor Strange, AOS Slingshot. I think that should cover everything that we've watched just this month. Upcoming, we've got Marvel's Inhumans, which is, kind of seen as the worst property that the MCU has ever come out with. But I'm very curious to see just how bad it is, or if it's actually not as bad as people say it is. But then Jessica Jones Season 2, which I think John would say is his least favorite Marvel property that he's ever experienced.
Yeah.
Then we've got Luke Cage Season 2, and then we start AOS Season 5, and then we finally get back to the movies, and we get to Thor Ragnarok. Then we do Iron Fist Season 2, which I'm excited about, because I remember loving Iron Fist Season 2. And then Daredevil Season 3, and then Runaways, and I can't wait for Runaways, because we do both seasons back to back, and we just get to watch that entire show beginning to end, because it's over now. And then we do Punisher, and then Jessica Jones Season 3, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to finish the whole thing out. But yeah, we've been really hard on our Marvel shit lately. Plus, John and I have been keeping up with WandaVision, and we've been kind of holding my mom out from that because she said she wasn't interested in it. But now that we know how fucking good it is, we're going to rope her into it once we get around to it after we get to Endgame on our rewatch that we're doing right now. So there's a lot. There's just a lot. So other than that, though, again, it's been mostly YouTube content for me. YouTube content and, again, like the laptop stuff, which I'm not going to go on another rant like I did last month. I finally actually settled on what my next laptop is going to be. It's just a matter of playing the waiting game. I'm going to be getting a Lenovo Legion 5 Pro. It's going to, I'm going to deck it out. It's going to have a fucking, like the thing is, I could have gotten a laptop that would have performed the exact same or at least similarly to the Legion 5 Pro already. The biggest reason I want to get it is actually for the screen. Would you believe that, John?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, because it's got this QHD, which I don't know if you know what that means, but it's a 1440p basically. QHD screen, but it's not actually 1440p, because you know how like screens, like the P number is their vertical pixels, like a 1080p is 1920 by 1080,
Right, okay.
But then a 1440p is 2560 by 1440, but this particular monitor, or this particular panel, I guess it would be, isn't exactly 1440p because it doesn't have exactly 1440 vertical pixels. It has 1600 vertical pixels. It still has the 2560 across like 1440p would, but the 1600, basically it just has a taller screen than your typical 16:9 aspect ratio. It's a 16:10 instead of 16:9. So it's got like 11% more vertical screen space, and I super love that. Plus, just the idea of being able to play games at 1080p in windowed mode and still be able to see shit like Twitch chat and the Discord and stuff behind it really, really excites me. I love that idea because right now I basically either have to play at 1600 by 900, which gives me very little room, very little wiggle room on the side and at the bottom, or 720p, which it just makes the game too small and almost impossible to really, see in detail. But this is like the perfect in between. I'm fucking excited. I'm going to be getting a Ryzen 7 5800H processor. I'm getting an RTX 3070 graphics card. I'm getting 32 gigs of RAM and maybe 1 or 2 terabytes of storage and this amazing screen. I'm so excited. And the screen that I have right now is just garbage because it's like dying. Like it's literally on its last leg, like to the point that I had to change the power button on my laptop rather than putting my laptop to sleep when I hit it. It turns my screen off now because my screen is a glitchy mess. And when it glitches out, I have to turn it off and then wiggle my mouse to kind of bring it back up. And even when I do that, sometimes it takes some time to come back up. My processor is shit. My graphics card is actually pretty fucking good, but it's outdated. I'm just like, and plus like my screen, even if it wasn't malfunctioning, it's only a 60 hertz screen, which John, I don't know if you know what that means. The hertz number on a screen is basically, it's a refresh rate. So it's how many frames you see per second on the screen. So basically if you get a video playing at 60 FPS, then a 60 hertz screen is great. But if you play a video game like Minecraft, for example, which is a game that I play, and you can get like 250 frames per second, you're only going to see 60 of those with a 60 hertz screen because that's all that it can push out because it only refreshes 60 times a second. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this new screen that I'm going to be getting on this Legion 5 Pro is 165 hertz. And I'm so excited about that too. And it's way brighter and it's got fucking HDR 400. Like it's such a good screen. I'm basically buying this laptop for the screen. And I know that sounds silly, but there are other laptops that are available right now that I could buy right now that probably cost around the same or maybe even less than the Legion 5 Pro is going to cost. But they don't have this fucking good of a screen, so I'm holding out for it.
Yeah, man, I don't blame you.
So I'm excited about it, as you can tell from the way that I'm talking about it. I'm especially just excited to replace this hunk of junk because I'm really sick of this laptop now. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it, and I've been really keeping up with tech stuff, not even just laptops, but I'm really, really happy with my phone, but I still watch news on new phones that have come out, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and shit like that. I'm just kind of trying my best to just keep up with tech in general. I don't know why. I just found it interesting and enjoy keeping up with it. It's like every time I'm like, oh man, I need to get a new whatever, I have to do a bunch of catch up. So I figured why not just keep up with it as it goes rather than having to play catch up,
Yeah, exactly, man.
So, I'm subscribed to so many Among Us YouTubers these days. It's crazy. And some of them have even started putting out non-Among Us content and I still love it. Like Saikuno and Valkyrae and Quarter Jade and Tina Kitten and Toast, Disguised Toast, and fucking Ash on LOL, who actually just doesn't play LOL anymore that I know of. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube content creators that I've been keeping up with. Plus, John and I have been keeping up with new rock stars and Beyond the Trailer and all kinds of Hermitcraft content and stuff like that. There's a lot of content in my life. It's just mostly not movies and TV shows. I will say, movie-wise, I have watched the Mighty Ducks trilogy, and I'm very excited for the new Mighty Ducks show coming to Disney Plus in March. I think it's March 24th or 26th. It's one of those. I think it's the 26th, because I think it's a Friday, and I think that's a Friday. So March 26th. That's going to be a lot of fun. Or it might even be April. I don't remember. But I'm still stoked about it whenever it does come. It literally airs or debuts 1 week after the debut episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm stoked about that too, of course. But I think that's next month. Actually, it's March. I think it's 19th for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then March 26th for the Mighty Ducks show. Stoked about that. I've also watched Zootopia with my mom. She loved that movie. I knew she would. Thing is, guys, I don't know if you all know this. My mom's memory is really bad because she had a traumatic brain injury when she was very young, like before she even got pregnant with me. And it, it caused all kinds of stuff. Like she's got epilepsy and she's got brain damage and stuff like that. So her memory is really bad. So I have become kind of a serial rewatcher of things because if I enjoy something, I naturally want to watch it more than once. And I like to wait a long time because my mom will literally just forget everything about the movie. So I've seen Zootopia probably 4 times now, and at least 2 of those were with my mom. But this most recent time when we watched it, it was like a brand new movie to her. It was like she had never seen it before. So it's like, imagine the woman in 50 First Dates, but way less extreme. Because, rather than like every day it's like she restarts her life. It's more like every 3 to 6 months or so that my mom will just completely forget content that she watches. And that's why we're doing this big Marvel rewatch too, because we know that, well, the original plan was to time it with Black Widow, but now that's not going to work out. But yeah, we're just kind of enjoying content that we know we enjoy. And hoping to enjoy content that looks like we'll enjoy it. John actually just sent me a trailer earlier today. I haven't gotten around to watching yet, but I'm curious about it. There was something. Oh, I'm very excited about the Snyder Cut. I don't know about you, John, but I'm stoked about the Snyder Cut coming to HBO Max.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm curious how different it is from what was theatrically released originally.
Yeah. Music-wise, I haven't really found anything new, I don't think, this month. I really have just been listening to stuff that's already in my library. I've been on a little bit of a Diplo kick lately, and specifically the Diplo Presents Thomas Wesley. Basically, Diplo's venture into half-assed country music. I've been into it, though. It's been fun lately. I don't know if y'all know this, too, but I have different playlists for, like, each decade. Like, I have a 1980s playlist, I have a 1990s playlist, I have a 2000s playlist, I have a 2010s playlist, and I've already started a 2020s playlist that the plan is to just keep adding to, and by the time the 2020s are over, I'll just have a complete, really deep, really thorough playlist of the 2020s music that I liked. So that's kind of something that I'm into doing. But I think I've answered this question thoroughly enough. John, if you're ready, we can move on to our second question from Rod and Butter.
Absolutely.
Thoughts on Daft Punk?
Great career. Wish them all the best. One More Time gives me the feels. And I even tweeted about the first time I ever heard them. I was in the car with my friend Sean at the time. That friend I think I've told you guys about in other Q&As where I'd go to his house all the time and he'd come to mine. And we just very close in middle school and early parts of high school. And we were driving back, I think, from a restaurant, and Stronger, Kanye's version, was playing. But I was more immersed in Daft Punk's hand in it. And so I hunted down the instrumental with just what Daft Punk did and just taking Kanye out of the picture. And I fell in love. I won't say that I'm a hardcore fan. That would be disingenuous. But what I have listened to from them, I have liked. And 28 years. That's a lot of staying power. So good for them.
One More Time is fucking amazing. I love it.
It is, dude. It is, dude. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of those things where, like, I've always liked some of their songs, but I've never liked all of their songs. Like, it's like I can't listen to a Daft Punk album front to back. But if you give me like a best of playlist with like their 7 or 8 most popular hits, I would fucking love it, you know? Like it's
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with
like One More Time and Around the World and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Like, yeah, like their hits that like were popular, I loved. And you know, that's really, and I mean, hell, even just some of their more recent stuff, like they had that song with, I think they actually had 2 songs with The Weeknd, didn't they? Because they had Starboy, then I feel like they had another one too.
With Starboy, not to get it like mixed up, because I know they did the "I Feel It Coming" and Daft Punk was part of that. Was that the same song that you?
No, those are. I think that's the other one. I didn't remember if that was them or not, but I think those are the two I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yep, Starboy and I Feel It. I Feel It Coming is really. Is that Weekend in Daft Punk? Yeah, it is. Yeah, those are the two. I thought they had two. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like both of those songs. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call myself like a big fan of Daft Punk, but a few of their songs I absolutely love for sure.
All right, next question.
Well, it's Rotten Butter, and it's his third question, and it's just a Shaft reference.
Fair enough. All right, next set of questions.
That's Alex Foster with the last set of questions here. First up, in kayfabe, why does the whole roster come out for promos that aren't done by Vince, Triple H, Pierce, or somebody else that may have power over them?
Catering gets boring.
Honestly, I still, like, you're right, Foster. I don't know why the fuck they came out for Seth. I don't know either.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Foster. It still makes no sense to me. Like, you know what he is. Why would you humor him like this?
Oh, man. It's like Cesaro. Like, they just wanted that laugh, man.
Yeah. So it's just like, I'm here for the lulz.
They just wanted to witness the car crash up close, man. I mean, I feel like maybe not the last time, but one of the last times we saw Seth was when he had his fucking mental breakdown on the apron with Ray.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
It was. All right, next up. Second question from Foster. Character-wise, how could you see Roman changing after he loses the belt?
After he loses the belt, I could see maybe a redemption arc for Roman. Because I know WWE wants to make him a face again. So
he needs to hit a rock bottom, though.
Yeah. Maybe lose the title, then maybe lose to Jey Uso, and then lose Jey Uso, right? And like a
what if he
relationship
loses the title to Jey Uso?
Ooh. Really give him that complex. I like how you go hard, fam. Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll see. But I definitely agree with you about the whole rock bottom thing. Yeah.
Glad we agree about that. Oh, that was it?
Yeah, I'm good, man, on my end.
Okay, yeah. That's my big thing is I want him, if he's going to lose the title and not get it back right away, he needs to have a longer arc where he hits rock bottom and has to be built back up from the bottom. I really don't want them to just be like, well, Roman lost the title, and that was what was corrupting him all along, so he's a good guy again now. Oh, man, let's talk about Jack of the Beanstalk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Third question from Foster, and it's the weirdest one. There are two Johns and two Ashtons. How does either one of you determine who's the real one?
I mean, if you want a serious answer, I could vet the clone John about philosophy, and if they would trip up on stuff, like, you know, that would be how we kind of know. Because even Ashton knows some of my favorite philosophers, so even he'd be able to ask that question and be like, oh, I didn't hear this name, so this must be the clone. Maybe get freaky with it. I don't know. Because I am, pretty weird. How would you determine which was the clone or whatever,
Well, my question is when the clone was made, because if the clone was literally just made overnight, there's no fucking way to determine, because the clone would have all the same memories, right?
One would assume, yeah.
So it would really depend on when the clone was made. It's a hard question to answer, though.
We'd have to get into a game of Among Us. If the clone Ashton, depending on how well the clone Ashton played Among Us, maybe that would be a way to determine it. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't like these questions because clones are like exact replicas and they have all the same memories and shit. Oh.
God, I bet it gives you anxiety thinking about if cloning were possible, how easy it is to replace either one of us.
I know, dude. I know. It brings me back to the fucking LMD arc that we've been watching on AOS this whole time. God damn.
God, good villains are the best. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Ash and I are just gonna have to get replaced and let it sort itself out.
If it was like, if it was like they don't keep the memories, then I would be like, All right, John, you're my best friend. You and I have known each other for a full decade at this point. If there was a zombie apocalypse, chased by, and we were being chased by a zombie, what would you do? Because I feel like if a clone didn't have your memories, they'd be like, oh, you're my best friend. I would help you, of course. And I'd be like, fuck you. And shit.
Bro, that's such Rick and Morty energy.
I know. That's why I went there.
Amazing.
Oh, God. It's really sad that throwing you to the horde is our safe word.
Yeah. That was worth the whole Q&A. That was amazing.
Another option would be well, John, I guess we just have to watch The Lion King.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Find out if the clone laughs his ass off at Mufasa's death or not.
They get even one single tear, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, if they don't have my memory exactly, what would be your Turing test?
Oh, God, I think I have an answer, but it's so disturbing. God, I need help. Oh, God. Because I'd be like, okay, Ashton, what's the one thing I said we would always do together when you come and see me? And if it was anything other than subdue you and rape your scalp, I know that it's the clone. God, this has been a very illuminating Q&A. It's really been an inward-looking experience.
I'm disturbed.
You should be. I even feel a little unclean. Me!
Wow. That's impressive.
Are we on Foster's fourth question?
I don't know. I really feel like your way of getting me to clone me to trip up would be like, man, I'm so glad that we're such good friends and we're such good friends. We let each other get away with anything and say something wrong.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Be like, we let each other get away with anything. Like the way that those shady ass leftists get away with protesting police brutality.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be how the clone gives it away, because we've talked about, like, how parts of our family are trash, right? Because obviously your mom's a fucking sweetheart, but, like, if you took a little bit after that
she's
influence...
alright.
And if you took a little bit after that influence, I'd be like, oh no, clone, you got it all wrong. And then I just have to take it out back. I wouldn't have to let him know, though. I can't drop my guard. God, I really would treat it like a game of Among Us. I'd be calling Foster, I found the imposter! And then somehow I would still get voted for. So, the whole thing's fucked.
All right, next up, our fourth question. Actually, yeah, our fourth question from Foster. What would be your perfect vehicle from anime/cartoons/anything else? Doesn't have to be a car.
You're literally asking, like, okay. Like cartoons, whatever. That's actually a good question.
Bad one.
Say that again?
I said certainly isn't a bad one.
No, certainly not. I mean, it emanated from his face, so that's no surprise.
Nothing but facts.
So it could be like anime, cartoon. Do video games count? Did he say?
Probably, yeah.
Then Star Fox's ship. Fox McCloud, his ship. I want it. That's my vehicle. Because fuck the Batmobile.
Nice. I want one of the cars from Twisted Metal.
Excellent. Love
you
it.
ever played Twisted Metal games?
I have. Yeah, I have. I actually get that reference.
That shit's so fun. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is.
I think I played Twisted Metal 2 when I was a kid. PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't know which was. I probably played the first one when I was like really young, and we lived with a family that had like a PS1 at the time.
Oh no, you know what? I'm seeing the cover. It was 3. I played Twisted Metal 3. That's the one that I played.
Okay.
Yeah. Came out in 1998. Holy shit, I feel old.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, but sincerely though, being completely sincere, if I have a choice at any like fantasy vehicle, I want a fucking Transformer.
Oh yeah, dude, fuck yeah. I feel like you and mechs belong together. Like, just Ashton with a giant fucking robot. That makes so much sense to me.
Or like a Zoid.
There you go.
Yeah.
You get in there, it just feels right from the get-go, and you're just like, you know, I really deserve this. And then you just do all the things. All right, final question from Foster.
Oh, I don't want this to end. I'm having too much fun. Final question of the entire Q&A. What are some of the weirdest things to happen to you guys in video games?
In video games? Jeez. I don't know, because I've had weird glitches like in wrestling games where like I do a move and suddenly I'm standing on like the top rope. You know, just literally like balancing on the rope.
Yeah.
So that's been a weird thing, just glitch wise. What about you, man? You take this. Give some answers.
I really don't have a really good answer here, honestly, because like
yeah, same.
I don't really play glitchy video games because I feel like all of the glitchiest video games throughout history are either really current, like Cyberpunk or like 2K20 and shit like that, or really old, like fucking ET video game and shit like that, like old school like NES type shit. And that's like I just missed out on all that stuff because I started playing around, I think it's considered the 4th generation, which was like Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, and like the Game Boy, like the original Game Boy. And like,
yeah,
I don't think that there are any like notoriously glitchy games from that era or like the era after that with like GameCube and GBA and stuff like that. And that's my pocket. Like the only other games I really play are like Rocket League, Brawlhalla. I mean, we've played Speedrunners, but that's not a glitchy game. Like I really just don't play anything glitchy, honestly. So I don't know.
He could have also meant weird broadly, like what's just a weird moment you had in a game or whatever. Maybe a story took a turn in some way that you weren't expecting.
I mean, maybe just like randomly spawning in the middle of an ocean in Minecraft would count, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
It's a tough one for me, too, because even, like, broadening the question to be like, well, weird doesn't have to mean glitchy. It could just be, like, part of the experience of gaming, maybe a development you didn't expect.
Yeah.
I guess the first Devil May Cry, it was weird, because I know a lot of people, I think at the time, maybe they softened up on it, but they kind of lampooned it, because they straight up jacked the ending for Pokemon the movie, where, like, Tears revived somebody that had died or whatever. Oh and that was pretty weird. Not weird, but I got so angry. I've told this story before, but I always laugh telling you and talking about games. I had this time traveling game where like my protagonist person I was playing as gets murdered. And the guy is like, oh, you know, I'm going to give you a chance to go back in time, you know, solve your own murder. And I'm going back as far back seemingly as like the 1700s. It really does. You know, it's a wild game. It's one of those games with multiple endings. And the ending I got, I apprehend my murderer. Everything's great, right? Finally, I'm alive. Justice. Got this cool power. Fucking, I get hit by a car. That fucking ends it. I get hit by a car. Somebody was drinking and driving. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I go through All of that. I once had a mission where I had to make sure to go back in time wearing a frying pan because the murderer figured out how to stab me. And I die because one guy, like, had too many Budweisers or whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. That was some bullshit. I'm still angry about that. If I ever get a copy of that game, I'm getting all the endings, and I'm just gonna completely ignore that one, because that one can fuck off. So, that was an experience that happened to me.
I mean, I guess this isn't like an in-game experience, but one time I played Resident Evil on a PlayStation plugged into a TV outside at night in a tent at a fucking at a family reunion party where a bunch of people that I didn't know were just like there mingling with my dad because they were like distant relatives that I had never met before. And I was just like, I don't like any of these people. And I think my uncle or something set up a fucking TV in a little tent just for me and my friend to play. And it was literally, they just had PlayStation and Resident Evil. So like, I just got to play a fucking horror game in the middle of the night, surrounded by people I didn't know. Freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, that's a combination of frightening and just awkward. I couldn't play games in front of people that I don't know. Like, I find gaming to be a very, like, private thing. So, like, or maybe private's too strong a word, but, like, intimate, definitely. You know? I don't want to do it in, like, this open space. Oh, God, dude, I am so sorry. Jesus. I'm just shuddering just thinking about it. Let me think. I really don't know what else I can add to this. So, yeah, I guess we can wrap this up.
I guess we're done here. Yeah, man. We kept it under 2 hours. We kept it under 1:50, really. I mean, the Stardom show tomorrow is barely longer or barely shorter than this.
Yeah.
We hope that you all enjoyed, and we hope that we get more questions for next month. John, any final thoughts before I close this out here?
I'll tell you what my final thought is. We have Q&A a month from now.
25th.
Yeah, same day, a month from now. Yeah, March 25th.
That's how February works, as long as it's not a leap year.
Yeah. So March 25th, you guys know the deal about submitting Q&A questions, because I know the people that were here for the stream. You guys are a core audience, so you know the rules. I'm going to be switching up pin tweets soon. And so, yeah, we hope you join us there. Join us tomorrow at 5 for Stardom live reactions for the February 23rd show, I want to say it is. I checked, it's like an hour 50. And then, join us for our SmackDown review same night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, it should be good. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, bro, I might as well talk about this a little bit. I know Mets posted what the junior title matchup is. I'm not really into that.
Me neither.
I don't know
no,
if
thank
you were.
Pass.
Yeah, so I guess we're just going to be reacting to 2 matches tomorrow or Sunday.
Yep.
All right. It's going to be a short fucking day Sunday then. I'm actually happy about that. So, yeah. Nothing Saturday, and then Castle Attack at 7, live reacting to the Never Openweight Championship match and the Intercontinental Championship match. Hooray. All right. Gonna hand it over to you, bro. Take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you all enjoyed. Hope that you did. If you did enjoy, like the video, subscribe, click the bell, follow us on Twitter and Twitch. You can also subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends, and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. We are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the Y and T WCs. So we will be seeing you all tomorrow 2 times, like John said, 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Stardom Live Reactions, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for our SmackDown review. We hope that you're looking forward to that. Saturday, nothing. Sunday at 7 p.m., I believe, is what we agreed on. We will be live reacting to 2 matches now from Castle Attack, because unfortunately Hiromu Takahashi is injured and will not be able to make the show. I think he's going to be out for like half a year, unfortunately. But we'll still live react to the main event, and then I don't even remember. There was another match on that show that we wanted to react to, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll get around to it when we get around to it. We hope that you all enjoy that as well. We'll keep reacting to Stardom next week. We've got another NXT review and a SmackDown review next week. Assuming the Patreon donors want us to keep it that way. And we hope that you're looking forward to all of that. And of course, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.